The streets of Caracas crackled with fireworks. Music filled the air, a vibrant soundtrack to the jubilant cheers of Nicolás Maduro's supporters.
His claimed victory, a third term as president of Venezuela, sparked orchestrated celebrations, a sea of red echoing the colors of the ruling party.
The opposition, led by Juan Guaido, immediately contested the results, alleging widespread fraud and manipulation. They claimed victory for themselves, citing pre-election polls that positioned them significantly ahead of Maduro.
The government-controlled media showcased only the pro-Maduro celebrations, a carefully curated narrative of national unity. This stark contrast between the government's portrayal and the opposition's claims fueled existing tensions.
The international community watched with bated breath, the legitimacy of the election hanging precariously in the balance.
Maduro's rule, particularly following the death of Hugo Chavez, has been marked by controversy, with accusations of authoritarianism and human rights violations.
The opposition, a diverse coalition united against the Maduro regime, has faced increasing pressure, with many leaders imprisoned or forced into exile.
As celebrations subsided, the true cost of this contested election began to emerge. Venezuela stood at a crossroads, its future uncertain, its people divided. The opposition's claims of a stolen election were not mere rhetoric. They pointed to a litany of irregularities that plagued the electoral process.
One of the most glaring issues was the restricted access to polling stations. Reports emerged of voters facing significant delays, with some stations allegedly remaining closed for extended periods.
International observers noted instances of intimidation and coercion. There were allegations of state employees receiving explicit instructions on how to vote, with threats of losing their jobs.
Such tactics, if true, would undermine the very foundation of a free and fair election.
The opposition claimed they were denied full access to the printed receipts from the electronic voting machines. This lack of transparency further eroded trust in the process, fueling suspicions of foul play.
The government's response was swift and predictable, dismissing the allegations as baseless and accusing the opposition of spreading lies.
The international community, long wary of the Maduro regime, was quick to express its concern over the election. 9 South American countries, including Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia, issued a joint statement calling for a comprehensive review of the electoral process. They demanded transparency and accountability, urging the Venezuelan government to address the allegations of fraud and irregularities.
The Organization of American States, OAS, also voiced its condemnation. They called for an emergency meeting to discuss the situation in Venezuela, with the potential for further action.
The United States, a staunch critic of Maduro, went a step further, refusing to recognize the election results.
However, the international response was not without its limitations. While many countries condemned the election, there was no clear consensus on how to proceed.
This division within the international community played into the hands of the Maduro regime. They skillfully exploited these differences, portraying themselves as victims of foreign interference.
We feel uncertain about our future.
The unrest on the streets reflects the deep-seated anxiety among the Venezuelan youth.
The current political climate in Venezuela has far-reaching implications, not just for the country, but for the entire region.
Analysts are concerned about the potential for increased instability.